Today we will discuss about probity, probity in governance. Before that, let us discuss about emotional intelligence. Let us revisit this topic. So here, how many of you have applied the concepts of emotional intelligence we discussed earlier? Please let me know how many of you are applying in your day-to-day life. Is there anyone? If not, why you are not applying? This is a very, very important concept. And also, oh, very good, Suman. He is a very, very good concept. Very good. Pragna and Suman, great. Very good concept, and it is having a lot of implications and also a lot of benefits. Here, emotional intelligence deals with two aspects. One is you and others. In both the cases, you have to recognize, you have to identify, you have to assess and manage the emotions. This is all about emotional intelligence. So here what I say is, whenever you get time, whenever you are not in like good mood, or when you are not feeling pleasant, something like that, just analyze what are your emotions are. Dear students, let me just like flash the slides for you. For those of you who have not applied, please do apply. Emotional intelligence, according to UPSC, is making our emotions work for us rather than against us. This is one thing which you have to keep in mind. Next, next definition, recognizing. See here, very, very powerful word. Recognize. You have to recognize your emotions first. When I asked the question on the other day, like many were not able to recognize. How can you be emotionally intelligent if you cannot recognize your emotions? If you cannot understand, if you're not able to recognize, if you're not able to understand, you cannot manage. So, dear students, whenever you get time, just try to recognize, try to understand your emotion. Having said that, how to develop emotional intelligence? Like we have seen in general, what is going on with respect to motivation, all these things. Just because of emotional intelligence, I never went through emotional breakthrough since last time. Okay, very great, Pragna, very great. You have to apply these things. They're very, very powerful. So just it will be like a revision to you. How to develop emotional intelligence. All the models talk about developing emotional intelligence. In that, the best one, most accepted is mixed emotional model. One model identify emotions as mental ability. Another model identifies emotions with respect to personalities, that is reporting, self-reporting. Daniel Goleman, he has put both of these things. So it is known as mixed emotional model. Let me just go through these things. Please concentrate. Don't worry about the first one. This has been already, this model is discarded. See here. Very simple, very easy to remember. First two is with respect to you. Self-awareness. After that, management of your emotion. So in how you can be aware of your emotions, how you can manage your emotions, right? In the same way, see here the same thing. In place of self, you have got social. In place of self, once again here, relation. How to manage relation? So here you may be getting the questions directly as to how to manage relations, how to develop social awareness. So you write down those things. Here, There is no need for you to mug up the things. All have dictionary meanings. That's it. Moving forward, self awareness. How can we develop self awareness? By first knowing exactly what one feels and why. After that, accurately assess your abilities and liabilities, your plus and negative. After that, self confidence. So, very important, self confidence is the belief in own capability and decisions. Very important. You also never depend on others. You should be confident with respect to your capabilities and decisions. Even if you depend on others, you should have a firm belief on your capability to get the things done. Until and unless you are not believing yourself, then emotional intelligence is very, very difficult for you to attain. This is about self awareness. So, emotional awareness, assessment, confidence. Coming to management, how you manage the emotion. Here, one, emotional self control, keeping your feelings and emotions under control. Next, transparency. This is very important. See, here we all want to show off some of the things we don't have. We generally do, almost all, maybe because of social influence or anything. If you do like that, you cannot be emotionally influenced. Say, for example, I am a poor boy. There is nothing wrong in being poor. But when you try to project yourself as a rich boy, it will be like a hypocritic thing. Anything, whatever you have, you have to just accept them. So there should be integrity in your action and in your deeds. So there is nothing to hide and speak. Say, for example, if you're not speaking English properly, you have got challenges in speaking English. It doesn't matter. In fact, great men never care about these things. So, dear students, whatever you have, the wealth, maybe the beauty, maybe the handsomeness, anything, there is nothing to hide. You have to be transparent. Then only you can be emotionally intelligent. Then adaptability means you have to be very flexible. Then achievement orientation, accomplishing things through one's own efforts. Initiative, identify the problem and take decision. Optimism, persistence to pursue your goals. These are the things through which you can manage the emotion, right? So how to manage your emotions? Self control, transparency, adaptability, achievement orientation, initiative, and optimism. When I was teaching, like way back in 2013 or 14, there was one student by name DK Balaji. So he was very, very attentive. And at that time, he used to tell, like, sir, whenever I'm like walking, whenever I'm taking path, I always think of how to apply these things. So in fact, that is the thing which is needed. In examination hall, you have to think. So here, the clue is if you think in the examination, the chances of you getting points are very, very less. The thought process has to happen when you are studying. Say, for example, whatever we teach, everything won't come spontaneously. We have to think as to what we have to teach. So this is with respect to self-management. Then they may ask like how you can get social awareness. First of all, empathy. Without empathy, you cannot have social awareness. Then organizational awareness, where the internal and external power centers. Some may be having authority, others may be having influence. See these things with respect to organization, with respect to society, and service orientation. Empathy, service orientation, organization knowledge for social awareness domain. Relationship management, developing others. Understand people's needs and help in building them. Inspirational leaders, able to articulate and arouse enthusiasm and lead by example. Influence, ability to pursue and conceive. Conflict management, teamwork, collaboration. Then you should act as a change catalyst. So, along with that, you should have building of bonds, ability to develop and maintain working relations. So by this, if you think, you'll get more point. How to be emotionally intelligent with respect to others? You write the second, right? This is about emotional intelligence. Please do apply and go home. Just you concentrate on only these things, relate them, right? Okay, coming back to the chapter, meaning of probability. So as of now, you are all aware, we have discussed this concept in depth. Probity means complete and confirmed integrity. How the integrity becomes confirmed and complete? Because there are some procedures, processes which are followed. Probity is evidence of ethical behavior in a particular process. Evidence of ethical behavior. What is this evidence? This will be in the form of processes, procedures, mechanisms, everything given in your chapter, probity in governance. These are the those are the evidence which will be given in your chapter, probity in governance. So, sorry, am I audible and visible to you now? Some like sudden fluctuation in network. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, as we have discussed, please concentrate here. Ethics means set of standards. Following this ethics is integrity. When this integrity is proved in the form of procedures, we call this as probity, right? So here, if we say like following ethics is integrity, that will be very specific in a broad sense. Following highest noble values, following noble values, following highest ethical standards, even having consistent attitude, we call that as integrity, right? So coming back to the third one, it's a risk management approach. Why? How the risks are managed? How the risk is reduced? Because there is certain procedure. In case of integrity, that is personal thing which we cannot measure. That is the reason ethics, integrity, and aptitude is the name of your paper. But UPSC never say that we will measure the integrity because it's very difficult, right? Concerned with procedures, processes, and systems rather than outcomes. So just follow the processes, procedures, mechanisms, or anything. Then you will be said to have probity in governance. Probity, it goes one step beyond the uncorruptibleness. We have taken the example of probity in procurement process. So say for example, it's a government organization. It is procuring some things. If it is following all the rules and regulations, all the processes, then we say that there is probity. As I said, all the topics in this chapter, chapter number 6, are there to ensure probity in governance. Right? Probity in governance, just see the question, very simple question, 2019. What do you understand by probity in governance? Just write those things which we have already discussed. Based on your understanding of them, suggest measures to ensure probity in governance. Very simple. Just write the definition and write all the things which are present in chapter number 6. By following these things, we can ensure probity in governance. Right? Simply like risk management approach, ensuring procedural integrity, process of making governance citizen centric. And you can add one more thing, like there should be commitment to public interest, constitutional values, and upholding constitutional morality. This we will discuss in detail. As of now, constitutional ethics, thing like that. Just the constitution has certain things enshrined. Just you have to follow those things, right? Okay, ensuring probity. See, these are the things which are given in the syllabus itself. Transparency, right to information, following code of ethics, following code of conduct, following citizen charter, having good work culture, better quality of service delivery, proper utilization of fund, and absence of corruption. This ensure probity in governance. Very simple question. If you write this, you'll get maximum mark. Then concept of public service. What do you understand by the concept of public service? Right, go ahead. What do you understand by public service? Just 30 seconds. Just like whatever comes in your mind. What do you understand by public service? Oh, okay. Not public servant, public service. Okay. Okay. So first and foremost, as we have discussed, public service are the services provided by the government using public money. This will suffice. Nothing more than this. If you search like any number of books, the crux is this one. The services provided by the government using public money. Okay, following rules of the governance. Okay, like concept of public service means services provided by the government using public money. That will be more than sufficient. If you want, you can just elaborate services that are provided by the government to the people living in its jurisdiction. It is associated with fundamental human rights. These are provided directly or indirectly. That may be provided by the government directly. In the era of LPG, they are provided indirectly also. This is very general. Moving forward, here most important thing you have to concentrate here. Public service should be contingent. Means public service should be in unison. They go along with the needs and expectations of the people. The public servant should not or cannot give those services which he feels are good for the people. It should be based on the needs and the expectations. In case of public service, it's not like private organization. Effectiveness is determined by the satisfaction of the people. That is the reason why holding public servants accountable is very difficult. Here, profit is not the only motive. In fact, upholding the public interest, satisfaction of the people is of major importance. Right? Okay. So examples of public service, all the things which are given by government. You can just write down all those things. Electricity, education, fire, health, post, public broadcasting, public library, water supply. All these things are public services. Okay. Why are public services provided? Anyone, go ahead. Why? Why they are provided? Why public services are provided? What is the need of providing these things? Are these public services provided from the time immemorial, or is this a latest thing? Betterment of the people. Okay. Welfare of the society. Okay, great. Expensive to buy individual. Expensive to buy individual. Very good. Pragna has made the point. Yes. See, one of the thing is there are many services which cannot be made available or given if it is given to the individual or if it is given to the community. We have discussed about the law of subsidiarity. There is an element of economy of scale, economy of scale. That is one of the major point. And in fact, the concept of public service became very apparent after Second World War. After Second World War, especially in the Western countries, the infrastructure was very badly affected. Then the countries was forced to give some services. This was the era during which the public service as a concept crystallized after the Second World War. Across Europe, because of extreme demands on industries and economy, central planning was required to make production maximally efficient through nationalization. Many public services, especially electricity, gas, public transport, are the products of this era, means after the Second World War. Following the Second World War, many countries also began to implement the universal health care and expanded education under the funding and guidance of the state. This was the beginning with respect to public service. Right? Okay. Why it is provided? Can anyone say in our constitution, which is that article which says that government has an obligation to provide public services? Can you think? It will be Article 21. It says that there should be humans who live with dignity, right to life. So for the modern life, it's very, very essential for for being ethical, for the society to be ethical. Universal provision should be guaranteed. Providing some services requires economy of scale, technology, managerial capacity, or collective amenities. For this reason, public services are provided. So law of subsidiarity, we have discussed these things. Let me just go through these things. Law of subsidiarity, very important. Throughout this chapter, you have to apply that. It simply means that the functions which are secondary should be done by the central authority. The principle that central authority should have subsidiary function, promote performing only those tasks which cannot be performed at mere local level. Law of subsidiarity should be followed. According to secondary, it should be followed in all the programs. The central idea of subsidiarity is that citizens are sovereign in a democracy and final decision maker. At the same time, they are stakeholders in the democracy. Citizens are also consumers and also here one important thing is citizens are the final decision maker. Final decision maker. At the same time, they are also consumers of the services provided. Here, at one hand, is the final decision maker. On the other hand, is at the bottom of the receiving end as a consumer. Citizen sovereign consumer must exercise as much authority as practicable and delegate upward the rest of functions which require economics of scale, technological and managerial capacity, and collective amenities. Principle of subsidiarity stipulates that functions shall be carried out closest to the citizens at the smallest unit of the governance possible and delegated upwards only when the local unit cannot perform the task. Citizens delegate these functions he cannot perform to the community. Functions that community cannot discharge are passed on to the local government in smaller tiers and so on. From the smaller tiers to the larger tiers, from local government to the state government, from state to the union. In this scheme, the citizen and the community are the centers of governance. In place of traditional hierarchy, there will be ever enlarging concentric circles of government, and delegation is upward depending upon the necessity. So these things we have discussed. Now, how are public services provided? Think, how are public services provided? How is water provided? How is transportation provided? Just go ahead, like let me see how public services are provided. What are the methods? One is directly government is giving. What are the other methods through which public service is given? So this is pretty simple. Please see here. One, by nationalization. Many services provided by the process of nationalization. Nationalization took off following the world wars of the first of the 20th century. Nationalization means here the nation is taking control of the resources, in fact, the means of production. Now the owner will be the state, the government. Don't worry about that. Other thing is by privatizing the things. Then PPP, public private partnership, build, operate, and transfer. Very popular PPP model in Karnataka, especially with respect to roads, highways. By market, due to the effect of NPM, new public management, they are directly given and contracting out, as you might have seen. In case of municipality, most of the works are contracted out. In some cases, NGOs can also provide. Here, you can write all the ways. Okay. Moving forward, now Citizens Charter. This is one of the most important chapters. Here, the source material is the second ARC. All the books, they have directly taken the things from second ARC. Nothing, like they have never searched, everything is there in second ARC report, Citizens Charter. It's a lengthy book. If you want, you can just have a glance. What are Citizens Charter? Before that, let us just introduce the concept here. Okay, evolution of Citizens Charter. The scheme in its present form was first launched just like very recent phenomena, 1991 in UK. In India, in 1996, a national debate for responsive administration commenced. National debate, just a debate. And the same topic of Citizen Charter was discussed in Chief Minister Conference in 1997. It was launched in May 1997. So if you forget these two, it doesn't matter. Just to have an idea, after 6 years after it was introduced in UK, 1997. This would suffice. So now coming to the topic, who are citizens? What do you understand by citizen? See, everything you have to take in the same way. Who are citizens? Okay, what are the four P's? See, public private partnership. Another P is people. That's it. Okay, who are citizens? So coming back to that, that was the answer to the previous question. Who are citizens? Who have rights and duties? Yes, very good. Then what do you understand by charter? Charter simply means authority. Charter simply means rights. So now what is the meaning of citizens charter? Citizen charter means rights of citizens, authority of the citizens, right? Citizen charter means rights of citizens, authority of the citizens. That is the literal meaning of citizens charter. So in India, it was in 1997, first began in 1991. Citizens are those who have rights, who follow laws, and who have duties, right? So rights, duties, and who follow law. This is the simplest definition, and it is most precise. It would suffice to answer any of the questions you come across, right? Moving forward, citizens are the person who is the person who is entitled to enjoy all the legal rights and privileges. He is obligated to obey its laws and fulfill its duties. Very simple. Once again, don't try to write as it is, write in your own words. He is entitled for some rights, legal rights through law itself. And there is an element of obligation that he follow the laws and he fulfills his duties. Charter simply means grant of authority or grant of rights. So by this definition, it simply means citizens' rights or citizens' authority. So citizen, grant of citizens' rights or citizens' authority. Right? Now, one of the most important with respect to this chapter is this. Citizen charter means a set of commitments. Citizen charter means set of commitments. Number one. Who are making these? These are made by the organizations who are giving services, right? Number one, the commitments are given by the organization which is giving the services with regard to the standards of service which it delivers, right? Any doubt with respect to this thing? Very simple, general English. Set of commitments made by an organization which is giving service. Say, for example, municipal corporation. They provide water. So here, the standards of service, water will be provided daily. Water will be provided between 7 to 8. This will be the quality. This will be the quantity. These are commitments, right? This is the one thing which you shouldn't forget. If you are like clear with this concept, you can understand and you can write any question with respect to citizens charter. So this is one which is given in the second ARC report itself. So it is important. As I told you, if there is one personality who is very, very important, in fact, nearly sometimes 50 to 100 marks questions will be there out of 2000. So anything you get about Mahatma Gandhi, please keep those things one time in one place and try to master those things. So Gandhiji says that a customer is the most important visitor in our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interpreter in your work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is the part of it. Here the crux is civil servant is a servant of people. So citizens are the masters. They are not the interpreter. They are in fact the purpose. Is not the outsider, it's the part. And one more important thing is you have to uphold the public interest. This public interest has to be upheld. For this, you have got a greater obligation because you're doing this under public trust. Public trust means people have trusted you and they have given this work. It's just like in private organization, you spending your money. But when you are working in public service, it is like spending others' money. Right? So please concentrate here. What is the heart of citizen charter? Then citizens charter, are they enforceable? In case of default, in case if citizens charter are not followed, what is the way out? See here, just concentrate here. Citizen charter means granting rights to citizens, granting authorities to citizens. These are set of commitments made by the organization regarding the standards of service which it delivers. Here, what I'm asking is, what if these standards are not delivered? Are these commitments enforceable in the court of law? Are these okay? Concentrate here. Commitments are the heart of citizen charter, and citizen charter is not enforceable in the court of law. Very important. So if an organization, say for example, municipality, it says that we'll be leaving water between 7 to 8, but water has not come. You cannot go to court. But in case of default, a suitable remedial measure is provided. Clear? So commitments will be there. Their commitments are not enforceable in the court of law. Then you may ask me what is the utility then? Then what is the good thing if they are not enforceable in the court of law? Though they are not enforced in the court of law, they have inbuilt mechanisms where if there is any default, suitable remedial measures will be there. Here, how many of you have come across Citizens Charter? By rule, all the departments, all the ministries which provide public services should have Citizens Charter. Do you know the Citizens Charter of your municipality? Do you know the Citizens Charter of police service? Do you know the Citizen Charter with respect to revenue? Why you are not aware? What are the defects? The concept is very good. We'll discuss that. So, what is the importance of Citizen Charter? Think it over. Why Citizen Charter? Why commitment? With Citizen Charter, there are numerous advantages because there is a set of commitment and there is also redressal. Think on those lines. And the question may also be asked like this: how is Citizens Charter? How does Citizens Charter empower the citizens? How it empowers the citizens? Is Citizen Charter driven by demand or it is driven by supply? Answer to this very simple question: Citizen Charter are driven by demand or supply? Demand or supply? Okay, they are driven by demand. What people demand has been discussed. So citizens charter are driven by demand, not supply. Citizen charter sees public services through the eyes of whom? Next question, is citizen charter an end in itself? Please concentrate on the third one. Is citizen charter an end in itself? What is the meaning of citizen charter being end in themselves? Means just having a citizen charter and just following that is the end, is the goal, is the result we thought of. That is the meaning. Is that the exact meaning? The answer is no. Citizen charter is not the end. It is the means. It is the tool. It is the instrument. Okay, let us discuss these things. Citizen charter empowers the citizens in demanding the commitment standard. Very important how it empowers the citizens. It empowers the citizens to demand those things which itself has committed. It is always demand driven based on the demands of the people. It sees public services through the eyes of those who use them. Then, citizen charter cannot be an end in itself. It is a means to an end. Now, what is the end then? Sorry. Citizen charter cannot be an end in itself. It's a means to an end because citizen charter is a tool to ensure that citizen is always at the heart of any service delivery. You got an answer? Citizen welfare. Great. Okay, citizen welfare. Then citizen welfare, you can say that public interest. Public interest, because this is one of the term which is often used. So for all the civil service, these two words should be used like as frequently as possible. Public interest, and they are doing this work with public trust. Public trust. People have trusted. Public interest, public trust. Is a tool to ensure that citizens are always at the heart of any service delivery. Right? Got a message. Okay. Citizen charter makes the organization transparent, makes the organization accountable and citizen friendly. Since there are already well defined standards, you can hold the person who is giving services accountable. In the absence of these standards, holding accountable is very, very difficult. 6 principles of citizen charter movement. This question has already appeared. This is pretty easy. Simply like you have to make some acronyms. So it will be easy for you to reproduce these things. So these are the 6 qualities or the principles of citizen charter movement. It is given in the second ARC. I have put here. So quality, choice, standards, value, accountability, and transparency. These are the 6 principles of citizen charter. Means these things always have to be present. Improving the quality of services. Choice for users wherever possible. By giving choice, you are increasing the freedom. Standards specifying what is expected within a time frame. Value for taxpayers' money. Accountability of the service provider. Transparency in rules, procedures, schemes, and grievance redressal. So you make an acronym, right? Already once it has been asked by UPSC. Next, in the same line, maybe like 7-step model that may be asked, which we'll be discussing. Right? So what are the limitations? What are the problems? So these are pretty easy. Poor design and the content, lack of public awareness. See, all the departments should have citizen charter, but none of you know these things. Why? Awareness is very less. Inadequate groundwork. They are just creating the citizens charter without doing any survey. They are not doing the required groundwork. Charters are rarely updated. Once they have come up with a charter, even after 20, 30 years, they are not updating the things. End users and NGOs are not consulted when charters are drafted. Needs of the senior citizens. So end users not consulted, senior citizens disabled are not considered, and resistance to change. Anything new, the bureaucracy is not accepting. So it is resisting change. These are like simple common sense things with respect to status and problems. I have covered most of the points given in like in various places in the second ARC. Okay. Others still not been adopted by all the ministries. Most of the ministries have not adapted, become one-time exercise, the same thing which I've explained. Divide of the participative mechanisms. People are not involved in development of citizens charter. Service providers are not familiar with the philosophy. Why we are giving services? Why we are giving these standards? What is the philosophy behind these things? The providers are not aware of the philosophy. Okay. Now, this one, like in the near future, this question may be asked. Second ARC has given 7-step model for citizen centricity. So it says that all the organizations having public interference should follow this. So very important. It may be asked. Say if you get questions like this, if you write as it is, you'll get maximum mark. Here too, try to write these things in your own words. So it has a flow. Please catch the flow. First, define all the services which you provide and identify your clients. Identify your client. Then after that, after defining the services, set standards and norms for each service. After you have set the standards, develop capabilities to meet the standards. See, first, define the services which you want to provide and the target clients. Then set the standards. Afterwards, you develop your capabilities. Then perform. You have said after that you have to perform to achieve the standards. Afterwards, monitor performance against the set standards. Then evaluate the impact through an independent mechanism. And there should be continuous improvement based on monitoring and evaluation. This is the 7-step model. The same thing, citizen charter and providing public services. They all have many things overlapping. Quality of service delivery, you have to write the same things. Okay. So this is one important findings. Please give due attention. A Transparency International India study team found that except in banks you might have like found something written. So that is the one. Except in banks, none of the service provider in case of public distribution system, electricity, hospital, water supply, housing, land record, registration, police, targeted schemes displaced any citizen charter. This was done in Jharkhand, and in fact, it's true with most of the states. So, have you seen police having citizen charter and displaying that conspicuously? No. If you show that, others will come and ask if there is any default. So, in none of these schemes, they have explicitly shown the citizen charter, but in all these things, there will be citizen charter, right? Okay. Trains in Europe, the examples are also given in second ARC itself. Trains in Europe provide compensation for late running. Thales International, a train in Europe, and Eurostar, a train between France and UK, does provide compensation. Right? This is about citizen charter. Right? So any doubt with respect to citizen charter? If you have got any doubt, please let me know. So one more important thing than these things, please go through the material provided. I have uploaded my book. All the things are explained in detail in that book. Everything, all the topic according to syllabus, it's given. After the class, you have to read those things also. If I put all those things, it will be like me reading the slides once again, right? Okay, let us move to work culture. So what is culture here? So many of you have mastered the definition of culture. What is culture? Think, already you know what is culture. Then what is work culture? Learned. Great. Then what are the other two things? Passed on from one generation to another. Learned. Passed on from one generation to the another. Yes, accepted by most members. So in the same logic, you develop a definition. Work culture. What do you understand by work culture? In an organization, certain ways, certain norms have been followed for many years. Like as in society, they are learned. Say, for example, there is a school or college or any institution. If you have come new, in most of the institutions, people, students, somehow they when they feel like going out, or if they have some work, so somehow they go out. And nowadays, like well, students come. Most of the teachers themselves say, please don't ask, excuse me, all these things. Please do come. So here, you being part of this coaching institution, you learn these things. Any institution or any organization have certain kind of values, collection of attitudes. Okay, great word. Collection of attitudes. Great. So that is the thing. Just for all the things, you have to do the same. What is culture? What is work? Just for work, any labor, force, or energy and or effect required to produce a specific result. So it may be in the form of force, labor, energy, or any kind of effort which produces certain result is said to be work culture, right? Then culture, as you are aware, learned, shared, passed on from one generation. It is a total way of life. So, like once again, the same thing. The essay one. See here, almost all I showed like this one. This can be answered by our ethics paper. This direct question. Not only that, if you take most of the things can be answered by ethics knowledge, right? So with this, we can say that work culture is a set of values carried forward from long time in an organization. One of the simplest and precise definition, work culture refers to set of values carried forward from long time in the organization. For this, you can add values, procedures, processes, mechanisms, right? So it just simply means certain values which are carried on for long time. Then the next question is with respect to like how this work culture develops in an organization. How in if a new organization is formed, how work culture is formed. Before that, work culture has a substantial impact on behavior, quality, and quantity of work done by the employees in the organization. Self-explanatory, right? What impacts work culture? Think. What impacts the work culture of an organization? Think of any organization. Okay, I'll give the clue. Amazon, Tesla, the work culture of all these organizations have some basis or what impacts, to be precise, the work culture. Any guess? Any guess as to like what impacts the work culture? It's simple. Let me just make these things in points. Right. So work culture is affected by the founders. Say for example, Infosys, Amazon, Tesla, Alibaba, all this have the impact of the founders and the leadership quality, the management, the people who manage, workplace practices, policies, philosophies, people, mission, vision, values, and the mode of communication present there. How people interact in an organization, even that matters. Environment, yes, workplace practices, right? So these are general. Dear students, once again, these are not exclusive. You can add some of your points. You can eliminate some of these things if you feel they are not that appropriate. This can happen when you conceptualize the things, right? Impact of healthy, importance of healthy work culture. Why we need a healthy work culture? What is the need? Number one, enjoy their time and effort. If you have a healthy work culture, the people who work, they enjoy their time and effort. As you might be aware, we are spending more part, like to a greater extent, on a daily basis. We'll be spending a lot of time in the organization. If you don't have a healthy work culture, like we often hear, like boss is irritating, is or giving all types of difficulties to me. This kind of work culture, if they are present, you won't enjoy your time and effort. And at the same time, you won't be loyal also. Healthy work culture, if there is present, employees stick to the organization. It is said that people, once they come to a good organization, maybe like Infosys, they never leave. And the image will be built on the work culture present. Think of Japan and Singapore, which have a very healthy work culture. Healthy work culture leads to team building. Since we have got certain values on which the organization runs, it brings everyone to the common platform, and there will be greater satisfaction and individual productivity too. Okay, moving forward, nature of Indian work culture. What is the nature of Indian work culture? What we have as of now? Think you go to any organization, any government organization. What is the nature of health work culture we have? In fact, Indian work culture is said to be leisure work culture. Now, certain to a certain extent, things are changing. Previously, the work used to be between 10 to 5. They almost always used to come by 10:30, 11. So, since they have come all the way from home, generally they will be tired. So they used to go for chai, coffee. Till 12 o'clock, they will be in the canteen itself. So when the things get bored in canteen, they will come to office. So by the time it will be 12:30. 12:30 to 1, they'll work. After 1, once again lunch break. So after lunch break, some more they have eaten, they want to relax. Once again, canteen, walk, things like that. So almost throughout, they have leisure, not work. Indians, it is said that have leisure work culture, especially in government. See, because of this unhealthy work culture which was present in India, most of the public service organizations, most of the public service units, they all went bankrupt. Say, for example, HMT. So when I was boy, in fact, this was one of the precondition, like dowry. that the bridegroom should get HMT watch. If someone says that they are giving willing to give HMT, the bridegroom won't take. There was looting of HMT. The people who used to go for HMT, they used to, like, they generally carry tiffin boxes. What they did, they filled all the parts in the tiffin box and they used to bring. Some they brought some restriction. Afterwards, what happened? All started wearing watches. So they used to wear watch and they used to go. That watch was not used to have nothing, empty watch. While they are coming out, they used to fill all the parts and they used to come back. Now there is no almost HMT. In India, well, healthy work culture is not present, right? Can you think of the reasons why we don't have healthy work culture? Why we don't have healthy work culture? Okay, think it over. We'll take a short break. We'll take a break for 5 minutes and we'll reassemble by 8:15. Right? Take a break for 10 minutes. Nature of Indian work culture. Here I have summed up most of the things. You can just take these points and reproduce them in the examination hall. Okay. In India, we find the hierarchical system. Hierarchy means every subordinate is under the immediate control plus supervision of the superior. Decision making is generally top down, but according to law of subsidiarity, it should be bottom up. This is not happening. Power is vested with the seat. Power or the authority which is there in the Indian work culture is with respect to the seat, who, say for example, a manager. So manager has the power, not the person who is having knowledge, not the person who is having expertise or skill. Accountability is very low and blame is thrown on the people who work in the lower levels. India is said to have leisure work culture. Professionalism in India is very, very low. In India, it is said that there are more professionally qualified people than professionals. I'll explain this. Professional is a person who works unsupervised and who certifies his work on his own. It's a very precise definition. You can reproduce anywhere. This person does his work, does his duty. There is no need of any extra pressure on his own, and he self-certifies the things. In India, we have got more professionally qualified people. Means all the professional degree, like say for example, MBBS, engineer. These are professionally qualified, but they are not professionals. India has more professionally qualified people than the professionals. This is the meaning. India has more, okay. They neglect work-life balance. This is one thing. It generally happens in all the corporate or in all the private organizations because there will be target fixed. You have to achieve that target. To achieve that target, people sacrifice the balance. In that, somehow their life will be ruined. They are not able to give a lot of time to their family. So they neglect work-life balance. Most take workplace as an opportunity to build their future, not the organization. They are working for themselves, not the organization here. Many work long hours to climb the corporate ladder, neglecting their work-life balance. Workforce is shy to change. They resist change. Okay. Characteristics of healthy work culture. Just go down like and just type the things. General. This is all. These are the things. Very general. You think and form the concept. What are the characteristics of healthy work culture? Everyone who is listening should come up with one word with respect to what exactly mean to you. If you want to work in an organization, what are the things you expect? Go ahead. What are the characteristics? Anything. Let me like see how your thought process is working. Honesty. Okay, great. Honesty. Then cooperation between others. Very good. Good communication. Very good. Then please go ahead. Good communication. Then only this culture of collaboration. Very good. Teamwork. Great. Dear students, I'll give a hint. Very important. Please concentrate. All the things which we have studied in development of emotional intelligence, social awareness, and relationship management. You have to write all the points there. All the points. Clear? Good vision, mission of the organization. Great. So how about please like concentrate here. Now, my question is, can we write everything which is given in emotional intelligence model with respect to the society, relationship management, and awareness about others, organizational awareness? Can we write here? Just recall the things: helping others, building team, achievement orientation, being empathetic. So go home, take this as a homework, and you have to write. In fact, that will be the best way. That will be the best way as to what healthy work culture is, right? So in general, let me just go through the points which are given in most of the books. This is one of the most important thing, conceptual. Other things or just like common sense things, please do concentrate here. Think that there is a patient. He needs to get operated, surgery. He needs to get operated. So here, surgery is the most important thing. Most important thing. But after surgery and before surgery, there is a need of hygienic factors like sanitation, like cleanliness, like isolation. But just by sanitation, just by cleanliness, or just by isolation, nothing can be cured. But these things are basic. Only if these things are present, then only the operation will be successful. The patient will be cured. Similarly, with this logic, it is said that for any healthy work culture, there are two things needed. One is hygienic factors. Hygienic factors, in the sense, take this and compare it directly to the hospital. Hygienic factor they maintain that won't cure, but that is the minimum baseline. Similarly, in any organization, there should be job security, status, and salary should be there. Without salary, without job security, without status, nobody will work. But this may not lead the individual to more work. This may not motivate the individual. The motivational factors are with respect to recognition, achievement, and personal growth. So healthy work culture is equal to having hygienic factor and also motivational factors. Is the concept clear to you? Let me explain this again. As in hospital, in the workplace also, we need to have certain things. These are the minimum basic. These things won't directly motivate the worker, but these like hygienic factors in the hospital are needed. If these things are not there, we cannot build upon the things. We cannot go for the motivation factors also. Hygienic factors should be there. After that, there should be motivation factors like recognition. You have done something, recognition, achievement motivation, personal growth. All these things have to be present. These are some of the examples, right? Is the concept clear with respect to what hygienic factors and motivation factors are? Any doubt with this concept? If you have got any doubt, please let me know. Okay, moving forward, we have to create clear goals and rewards for the employees. If the goals are not created specifically, evaluation, accountability, transparency, all these things will be affected. Since the goals are not clear, rewarding them also becomes difficult. So the goal should be very clear. And these are the general things. To begin with, healthy work culture gives opportunity for growth. Here, there is an opportunity for you to learn new skills, new association, working team, exchange ideas. Employees must be cordial with each other. They must have mutual respect for each other. No backbiting should be there. All employees should be treated equally. No favoritism. And everywhere, discussion and participation should be encouraged. Team building things should be there. These are, in general, characteristics of a healthy work culture. Right? Then, next is quality of service delivery. What do you understand by quality of service delivery? When can you say that the services provided are having better quality? Think any service. When will you say that the quality of service provided is the best? When compared with standard, when compared with standard, that if the actual is near to the standard, almost if it is near, if possible, like as it is, then we say that the service provided are of quality. Let me make this concept simple for you. Quality of service delivery simply means actual or reality in comparison to the standard. That is the meaning of quality of service delivery. Actual service provided in comparison to the standard. Quality of service delivery refers to delivery of high quality public services designed around the needs of the citizens. So these things self-explanatory. Don't try to mug up these things as it is. Write in your own words. So whenever the things are very important, I'll specify. Who are involved in providing services? Just go ahead. It's a very simple one. Who are involved in providing services? You are getting water for the people involved. Your law and order. How law and order is maintained? Who are the people involved? In democracy, how the services are provided to begin with? Public servants, all public servants. Then go one step ahead, then public servants or civil servants. organization. Okay, then one step above civil servants for the other people. See, public servants or civil servants, NGOs, these people are simply executing the things. Who made the rules? Legislature. So policymakers are also involved. Legislative. So here, see here, this is a simple thing. These things have to be there in your mind. Otherwise, like your answer won't be complete. Right? See here, just policymakers, then these things executed by the executive, senior and middle level government officials, actual service provider, the recipient, the citizen, evaluators, NGOs, pressure groups, mass media, trainers, and external consultants. These are simply common sense things. You can come down in a sequence. Policymaker, if they are at the top, you come down till the citizen, bottom. Afterwards, evaluation involving the social groups, media, all these things. Sorry. How to improve the quality of services? Here, once again, the same things. How to improve the quality of services? What we have studied, the 6 principles of citizen charter movement and the 7-step model for public service delivery. How to improve public services, quality of public services? Directly write those things. Right? As I said, the one important source is the second ARC report, comprehensively provided. All these things, what I am teaching now, are from second ARC. Right? The same things, quality, choice, standard, value, accountability, and transparency. These are the things which have to be present while forming standards. While forming the standards itself, commitments. Next, very important here, concentrate. According to second HRC, quality of service delivery can be improved by Citizens Charter. Citizens Charter. Single window system for delivery of services. Means you have to get everything in one window of the computer. You shouldn't change from one window to another. No, everything should be present in one place. Simply means that everything in one place. Single window system for delivery of services, information communication, and e-governance. By applying these things, we can improve the quality of service delivery. Then, with respect to the general things like training and capacity building should be there. Process and procedures should be simplified and updated. We have to focus on the outcomes rather than the procedures. Generally, in bureaucracy, we concentrate on the procedures because bureaucracy works on certain rules and regulations, certain processes, certain mechanisms. This has to be done away with. We have to focus on outcomes because here we are concentrating on the satisfaction of the people. Adopt Save-O-Thumb model given by second ARC, sharing the success stories and replication, adoption of second ARC's 7-step model. These are pretty simple. So what I'm trying to do is trying to give as many points as possible. So 7-step model, which we have already discussed. First, like please concentrate here. You should learn these things here itself. First, define the services which you are providing. After that, set standards. After you have set the standard, develop your capabilities. After you meet this capability, you have developed these capabilities, perform to achieve the standards. Then monitor the performance against the set standards. Then evaluate the impact through independent mechanism. This is very important. Continuous improvement based on monitoring and evaluation of results. The same thing here, right? Then comes another important topic, utilization of public funds. So all might have heard one term, March rush. What is March rush? What is March rush with respect to utilization of public funds or with respect to budget? What do you understand by March rush? Anyone go ahead? March rush. I'll give the clue also. Take the financial year as the basis. Okay, let me explain this thing. Welcome back. So there was some disturbance. Okay, what is this March rush? As you are aware, our financial year starts in April 2022, April. It will end in 2023, March. In reality, what happens is we got an answer. Okay, okay, let me explain. I am explaining those things, Manna, don't worry. Okay, so this is the financial year. What happens in reality is, say in budget, a government, say for example, rural development ministry or Panchayat Raj ministry, think that they have got 100 crores. Nearly, sometimes more than 50% of the funds, more than 50% of the funds are spent in the month of March. See the tragedy here. You have got 100 crores, but more than 50%, like more than 50 crores is spent only in the month of March. The reason is, if this money is not spent by the departmental organization, this money will go back to the treasury again. Right? So think of a situation like you are getting pocket money. You are getting pocket money. Think that for 1 month, every month you are getting pocket money. Think that this is 100 rupees. So what if you have not spent this 100 rupees and you have kept like nearly 80 rupees with you? Your parents somehow they will say, okay, already you have got 80, take another 20. This will be the pocket money for next month. Same here. One message, significant massive expansion, expenditure, S. Rule of labs, S, Kavitaji. Rule of labs. There is rule of labs means the funds, if they are not spent, they will go back to treasury. To avoid that, all the greater extent, everything is spent in March. This is one. And coming to our budget itself, this budget, the financial year itself is not scientific. It's simply the British legacy. In fact, you'll be astonished to like hear that previously budget was presented in the evening 5 o'clock. Evening 5 o'clock for many years it happened. The only reason was it was British legacy. When Britishers were ruling, The budget are submitted at the same time. So they also followed the same. In fact, budget session used to go throughout night. Somehow they have changed the day, at least timings now. A very illogical one, April, May, June. In June, rainy season starts. Can we take up any work here? No, not possible. And also, the resources available with the government are also not clear because the kharif crop is not harvested, right? So, major pitfalls in utilization of public funds properly are number one, March rush. And in fact, the budget cycle or the financial itself is illogical, right? Having said that, let us understand these things in detail. Utilization of public funds, public versus private funds. You have to distinguish that public funds, money belong to public people. It is spent on behalf of the people, public trust. See, as I told, these two words are evergreen. Use them as many times as possible. When you act as a civil servant, you are acting under public trust. People have given this work on trust. When you are spending money, it's not your money. In case of private organization, it is the money of the organization. But in case of public organization, money is spent by the other person. It does not belong to him. And one more important, there is external financial control. There is external financial control in public organization. What do you mean by external financial control? Here, the executive is spending, but the money is controlled by the legislature. Clear? So there is external financial control. So these are the marked differences between public and private funds. Right? Moving forward. Okay, we got a message. Okay. Sorry. Public funds refers to money that is generated by the government to provide goods and services to the general public. General one. Budget is the channel through which public funds are utilized. No money can be withdrawn from the treasury without the consent of the parliament. So with respect to these things, you have got like contingency fund, consolidated fund, and also public account. For that, you please refer to the budget document. They have clearly explained these things very precisely, and you have to read as it is. Especially the concept of what is public account is little changing. It's not given clearly in many books. It's given clearly in the budget document, right? Money spent by the executive is audited by CA, and you know the concept of consolidated fund and contingency fund. Consolidated fund is the fund where all the money goes and is the place from which all the money we get. Executive get the money from the consolidated fund after the legislature gives permission. But in case of contingency fund, it is at the disposal of the executive to meet the immediate emergency things. Okay. Sources of public funds. Go ahead fast. What are the sources of public fund? Just think. It's not like, see, this exam, until and unless you think that I know, I can try. Okay, tax, very good. What are the other things? Tax over. Then tax, then next. Other than tax, what are the sources of public funds? See, when you need money, what are the sources? Export cannot be like that, will be very vague. What about non-tax? What about non-tax? Debit capital, very good, Kavita ji. What about non-tax? Are we getting some money without taxing? What are the areas where we are getting money without taxing? Funds, loans, right? This is it. So these are the ways. See, already you have just expressed the things. Nothing more than these things. Sources of public funds, tax receipts, non-tax receipts. This will be important for general studies also. Non-tax will be in the form of fees, interest, profit, investment, disinvestment. All these things are non-tax receipts. Grant in aid from international organizations and other nations. Loan, that's the another one. Public, bank, market, international organization. Very simple. Tax, non-tax, grant in aid, and loan. These are the major sources of public funds. Then this is the one which you have to concentrate. In fact, why it's important is many committees were formed to find out which is the best way. In this, please think it over. Funds are transferred in two ways. One is treasury mode, the other is society mode. Treasury mode funds are spent to the states through RBI. Here, the funds are sent to the states through RBI. Once again, state to the District Rural Development Authority or Panchayat Raj institutions or NGOs or implementing agencies. Right? Let me make the things clear to you. Treasury, from that through RBI, states are getting. Then states will be giving those things to implementing agencies. This is the treasury mode. On the other hand, in the societal mode, central ministries, say for example, with respect to the Home Ministry, with respect to Ministry of Women and Children, these ministries directly transfer funds to the implementing agencies. For this, these are the things. So here the question is, okay, what are government bonds? So it's a deeper concept. In fact, to explain that, I need to prepare. Okay, let's confine to economy. Pragna has asked, what are government bonds? Okay, right. Now the question is, among these, which is better? Which is better? Very simple. In treasury mode, through treasury, from treasury through RBI, the money is spent to the states. States will once again give that to the implementing agencies. But in the societal mode, central government ministries directly give money to the implementing agencies. So here, according to you, which is better? B. Okay, B is better. Okay. Societal mode is better. Why? 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 Great. All of you, Samu, said that societal mode. Why? Let me take for this topic for a while. Why you think that societal model is the best one? Central government transferring the funds directly to the implementing agencies. Central government will have direct control over the organization. Okay, okay. Then any other answer? Less chances of corruption. Okay. So here, in fact, you are forgetting one important aspect. India has federal polity. Federal polity. So here, most of the areas where the central is spending, The subjects are with the state government. When the center directly spends these things, it is bypassing the state. It is against the federal structure, against the constitution, against the distribution of powers. So it is the treasury mode which is the best. Here, central government ministry many times uses this mode because they want to have influence. Say for example, a program. They want to make people say that Modi ji has provided, Rahul ji has provided, right? So the best method is treasury mode, not the societal mode. Okay. So which is ethical or which is better? The answer to this is, as I said, treasury mode. What are reasons for pure utilization of public funds? I have given two important. One is March rush. How A is a good answer? The thing is, here we are following the very basic principles of the constitution. Here you cannot like think with respect to efficiency, all those things, because it is very difficult to comprehend. Don't think that if the central government is directly giving, it will be efficient. No, central government, to have its influence, it's simply using this channel. Say for example, housing. Housing comes under Panchayat Raj and also it's in state list. Here, when center is directly intervening in this subject, it will be like violation of the principles of the constitution. In public services, we cannot take the things like in private organization. There are certain rules to be followed, right? The major thing is this one. It is violating the federal structure. Okay. Full utilization of funds is the first indicator of a scheme's performance. Very important. Many might not be knowing full utilization is not happening in many cases. So, as we discussed, there is March rush. More than 50% of the funds are spent in only 1 month in March. Then you can think like nearly 50% of the funds are not utilized properly. Right? Main problem is not inadequate budget outlays, but poor utilization of funds. It is said that to a greater extent, we have got sufficient funds, but they are not utilized properly. Okay. The other general reasons. What are the reasons for poor utilization of public funds? One, shortage of staff, poor planning, delay in the flow of funds, lack of need-based budgeting. Means our budgeting should be based on the needs of the people, to fulfill the needs of the people. Poor management skills, you might have seen in most of the government organizations. So how to improve? How to improve? A question has come. And another way on too much documents. Okay. Krishna Naik says that one another they may want too much documents, sir. Okay, I did not get the question, Krishna Naik. Okay. So how to improve the utilization of public funds? One is outcome budget, a budget based on outcome. Let me explain this in simple terms because this is not economy, just the concepts. In India, what we many previously, to a greater extent, what we are following is input budgeting. What does this mean? Say, for example, there is a work for that 100 crores. This is the input. There is a work B for this 50 crores. This is the input. So this was the basis and this was the way in which the budgeting was done. On the other hand, for better utilization, we have to take outcomes. Mean to say that What is the outcome which is being produced by this 100 crores? We have to take into consideration. To be specific, if this 100 crores are utilized for education, then you have to take into consideration like how many people got educated, what was the quality provided. So these parameters have to be taken into consideration instead of inputs. Are you getting the point? Simple one. Okay. Okay. So here budget based on outcome is outcome budgeting. Zero based budgeting means starting the budgeting process from zero. Means to say that don't have any baggage. Don't have any baggage. Like last year, generally in departments, what they do is last year 100 crores were given. Next year also, the funds allotted will be based on this. They say that this is not logically correct. Go for zero based budgeting. Think everything as new from the scratch. Next, auditing. Very important. In fact, it was the Bofors case, which was very, very important. In the auditing report of CAG found some major irregularities with respect to Bofors gun case. This was the, in fact, first point where Congress government lost its monopoly. In fact, especially the Janata government, which was opposing these things, they used to have big Bofors guns made, cartoons, and they used to roll in the roads. This has got, it was having a lot of impact, right? So audit that should be independent and also external. External means, say for example, this is the executive who is implementing. There should be an auditor who is not an executive, right? So accountability mechanism to be there. In that social audit by the society is one of the most important. Bottom up planning and transparency. Okay. Now let us see some of the things which are mentioned in the second ARC with respect to improvement of the quality services. So CPSMS is being created. What is this? It is a portal, the Central Plan Scheme Monitoring System, which contains all the schemes of the central government. And now social audit is made mandatory in Panchayat Raj institution. Rangarajan committee was constituted to examine the mode of transfer of funds. And BK Chaturvedi committee suggested restructuring centrally sponsored schemes and bringing them down to bring down the total number of centrally sponsored schemes significantly. Very important. Chaturvedi committee suggested for bringing down centrally sponsored schemes and transferring some of these schemes to the states themselves. Right? So these are the steps taken by the government till now. Another very important aspect with respect to utilization of public funds, that is, in public spending, always there should be higher capital spending than revenue, because capital spending leads to asset. Revenue is with respect to our day-to-day activities, the things which are spent on salary. They won't amount to any capital formation. On the other hand, if you purchase a new machinery, if you build something, it is a capital. So higher amount of expenditure should be in the capital section, not the revenue, because it won't lead to building asset. More capital expenditure and less revenue expenditure, right? These are some of the things with respect to public utilization. So these are pretty simple, self-explanatory. Okay. Now, from now on, like we'll start discussing the case studies also side by side. Because once if I like go through all the case studies, it will be very difficult for you to internalize, right? Decoding ethics case studies. Very important. Please concentrate. If you understand this, like half of the work is done. In UPSC, they are testing the approach, how you are approaching. They are testing your attitude. They are testing your problem solving thing. So questions will be testing these things. So what you have to do? Your approach should be good. In your questions, you have to show your attitude. In the question, there will be a problem. You have to solve that. If it is not solvable, you have to say like way forward. In future, what can be done? Right? These are the three things which you have to show explicitly in your answers. So these things I have already explained. Let me go through these things quickly. Okay. They are testing. And one more important. In all the questions, you have to show all these things. Number one. Number two, one component will be having more weightage, or UPSC is looking for that component to a greater extent. Mean to say, in one case study, the attitudinal component may be more explicit, or they are looking towards that. On the other hand, problem solving. On the other hand, the question may have greater stress on approach. Mean to say that in all the questions, they are looking into approach, they are looking into attitude, they are looking into problem solving. But you have to identify which is the major one. Right? Are you getting me? So in this, first analyze which is the major thing they are looking into. Are they looking with respect to problem solving, attitude, or approach? Once this is clear, like with respect to our emotional intelligence, when you are able to perceive and recognize the emotions, it is easy to manage. Similarly, when you know what the question paper setter is expecting from you, then answering that will be very easy. So, with respect to attitude and approach, you have to show your attitude. I've said the components of attitude A, B, C. So, you write those things. How you feel, what is your behavior, what is your cognition. Attitude is a very, very important concept, very broad. I have given the example for you. Why social change in India has not taken to a greater extent. Why child marriage is still prevalent. Why caste system is still prevalent. The main reason is there is no attitudinal change. Please concentrate. There is no attitudinal change with respect to the social problems. Then what is changing exactly? Only your cognitive component is changing. Previously, you might have thought that child marriage is okay. Now, after reading many books, after like listening to many lectures, now you have come to the conclusion that child marriage is bad. But the feelings towards child marriage has not changed. The behaviors associated with child marriage has not changed. We come across many child marriages. Do we do anything to eliminate those things? No. So there is no attitudinal change. Is this clear? For anything, for any social change to happen, attitude change is very, very important. Once again, I request you all to go through all the things we have discussed with respect to social influence and to be specific, persuasion. The six things what we have discussed are not exclusive. You can add any amount, any number. In all the case studies, you have to apply. Most of the case studies dealt are just dealt on common sense. That is bad. You should not follow that. Right? Okay. Moving forward. Once again, here, controller. This paper will include questions to test candidates' attitude, approach to issues relating to integrity and probity. What do you understand by this? Why they have given two words? Integrity and probity. Think it over. Why? Here, probity comes when you are a civil servant. If, like in any case study, if you are a public servant, you are bound to follow certain rules and regulations. So issues relating to probity means, are you following the rules and regulations? This is the one thing. For as a civil servant, you have to follow the rules and regulations. Sometimes you can violate the procedures. One, only when there is public interest involved, and there is public interest is involved. And if it is against some of the principles enshrined in the Constitution. These are the only two cases, majorly, where you can just like make slight deviation with respect to the procedure. So UPSC itself said that we will see whether you are following the rules and regulations specified. Right? Next, problem solving approach to various issues and conflict faced by in dealing with the society. Once again, child labor already given, girl education already given, caste system already given. Similarly, you also identify some of the issues, maybe will be in the form of communalism, left-wing extremism. What all the issues you should have a fair understanding. Definitely, questions will be there with respect to these things. So, in this regard, one more important thing when it comes to issues and conflict faced by in dealing with the society, you should have all the relevant Supreme Court judgment, all the laws, rules, programs, schemes, NGOs, civil society organizations. These are important NGOs. It's a matter of just 10 minutes. Just Google and find all the organization, very important non-governmental organization, which are working for different sectors. Right? With respect to social issues, you should have fair understanding. Say, for example, untouchability, caste system. You should have fair understanding of all these things. Then, very important, UPSC itself says that case studies on the above issues. Any case study if you get, nobody is like finding, nobody is pointing out from which part of the case study. Case study will be referring to one of the topic present in the syllabus. You have to pinpoint that. There's no need for you to write in the exam, but that should be apparent and clear to you when you are writing. Right? Okay. As a civil servant or public servant, you should have fair understanding of civil service values, code of ethics, and code of conduct. Otherwise, you cannot answer ethics case studies. Then these are the things which you have to keep in mind. When you are acting as a civil servant or public servant, all the values. In fact, second ARC says that in addition to commitment to constitution, following things have to be mentioned. So even UPSC has forgotten those. Commitment to constitution is the minimum basic. It is the most important foundational value. Since second ARC has said and given in the report that In addition to commitment to the constitution, integrity, all these things will be there. They have just mentioned these things. So in all the case studies, you have to show the integrity, impartiality, dedication, tolerance, compassion. Just apply these things, right? In addition, we also discussed about one more source of foundational values. These are the things. Other things already covered. The things like patriotism, uploading national pride, law of the nation, honesty, diligence, courtesy, and transparency. So all should be there in your answer. This will come only with practice, only when you interconnect the things. Along with that, Nolan Committee recommendation. Okay. Then Constitution, as I said, your case study, in no part of the case study you should violate Constitution. In no part of the case studies, you should follow the vices, bad things. You should never follow this. Never follow. Honesty is the best policy. So honesty should be shown in all the case studies. Stealing, these kind of things should be avoided. So only virtues should be shown, not vices. No violation. This is like a rule. Then moving forward in constitution, you should have a fair idea, especially the preamble. If the things given in the preamble are clear to you, nearly 30 to 40% things, even in polity mains, can be answered. Fundamental rights, directive principles, and fundamental duties. In this, fundamental rights and fundamental duties, which are superior? Fundamental rights or directive principles? Which is superior? Please let me know. Fundamental rights or directive principles? Suman says fundamental rights. Great. Any other answer? Which is superior? Suman, why? Okay. Dear students, here neither fundamental rights nor directive principles are superior. Please give due consideration. In this, neither fundamental rights nor directive principles superior over one another. They are equal. We have got three parts: political, economic, and social. All are having the same weightage. But fundamentals are made justiciable. If there is any violation, you can go to the court. Why they have made is it is possible. It is possible. One vote for all, possible. Liberty, freedom, opportunities, possible. On the other hand, directive principles directly deal with the social and also economic things. Even in just society, even in good society, economic inequality is bound to occur. I repeat, however you try, in any society, economic inequalities are bound to occur. The reason is, say for example, you are studying, like say preparing for 2 to 3 years. Should you be given the same salary given to a worker, manual labor? If that would have been the case, men with merit, women with merit would have not come to civil service. Society would have not prospered at all. So inequality is bound to occur, and it is not possible to have equality with respect to these things. That is the reason they have not made it justiciable. Simply because it is possible, they have made. We'll understand this concept in depth when we discuss about Rawls theory. Rawls theory of justice. Right? Moving forward, the most important thing required to solve case study are these two. persuasion, empathy, tolerance, and compassion. In most of the case studies, they are asking this. You have to use these things. Persuasive techniques, very, very important. The concept should be clear. Then it will be easy for you to apply. If you start applying the things in the examination on, it is not possible. Okay. Moving forward, case studies plus syllabus. Take the case study when you are solving, go through all the concepts in the syllabus. You'll get the answer. Interconnect the things. Just bombard the syllabus. Here, not only ethics syllabus, the whole GS syllabus you can take into consideration. These are some of the clues which have worked and which will work. And in total, there are nearly some 57 case studies till now. First of all, please do master only this. As I've shown and as I've been telling, nearly more than 50% of the case studies are repeated. I repeat, this is very, very important. Nearly 50, more than 50% of the case studies are repeated. Just 20% are new type of case studies. All are the permutation and combination, nothing more than this. UPSC case studies are based on research. Here, they have formed this case study to test your attitude, test your approach and problem solving ability. These things may not be possible if you just take some story, something which is there in the newspaper, and make this as a case study. Right? So, first thing is please master them. Daily go on a daily basis, you interconnect the things. Afterwards, you can solve other case studies. Right? Next, with respect to UPSC case studies, as I said, there is like only permutation and combination. Let me give you an example. In 2012, there was a question with respect to sexual harassment. In that, a woman employee who was working said that like there is a sexual harassment and she gave a complaint. This was the model question paper. The very next year, just a little modification, the women employee resigned. In the in the subsequent years, here the women employee first case given the complaint, second resigned. In the third case study, she has given a complaint. The organization did not look into, so she has filed a FIR. In another case study, the same. You have got good rapport with your boss. When you go to his house, he was involved in domestic violence. It is said that he was beating his wife. All are permutation and combinations. Say, for example, with respect to environment also, the case studies are repeated. So please master these case studies. That would suffice. Okay. Here, very important, time is a limiting factor. Less time is given to bring out your attitude, problem solving approach. This is very, very important. Intentionally, the time is kept low. If generally, if it takes like 4.5 hours, it will be kept 3 hours. Say so suddenly they asked, what does happiness mean to you? If sufficient time is given, say for example, one day, you will come up with all the explanation, all the logical ways. But when the time is less, you will write what is there in the mind. You will be writing the mental predisposition, mental predispositions, right? So these are the important things which you have to take into consideration. These are in general. You internalize these things. Next, we'll discuss about how individually, with respect to questions, we have to approach, right? Any doubt or any query with respect to these things? Okay, okay, let me make the things clear. Many of you, like first thing, Did all go through the questions which are already given to you? All the previous year case studies which are given, did you go through them? If not, please go through them. Then, if you have started solving, or if you have tried, if you have seen in other videos, something like that, what are the challenges you are facing? Or what are the things you want to know in case study? Here, this is like one of the most important thing. If a student is getting 100 marks, nearly 60 to 70 marks he is getting only in case studies. Solving these things are very, very difficult. So in the market, what is happening is solving based on the mere common sense. That is what they are doing. If you do those things, then you won't get good marks, right? Okay. So in fact, I thought of discussing like how individually also you have to approach the individual way with respect to a question. But I thought it will be like too much because once again, it has got minimum like 10-15 points. You may get confused. So I'll be uploading the same PDF for you. Go through this and master these things. Like somehow, like by the end of some another 7-8 days, we'll try to complete ethics for all. After that, we'll plan a different way. My thing is like one of the thing with respect to the classes or anything, my first and foremost importance was to see that there is access for all to attend the classes. There were many, there were limitations will be there, but I have somehow tried that all have got the access. Okay, let us first finish this ethics. Afterwards, we'll discuss the things, right? I'll be uploading the same PDF, right? Okay, and also I will be speaking to you. It's a long journey. Things won't end here. And in fact, one of the most difficult thing is to coach civil servants. Some of my students who came long back are still here. See, like managing a student for 3 to 4 years, how difficult it will be. Because somehow we will be having moral obligation to see that till the last, we should tell something which he may not be knowing, or if he is in confusion, right? So these are some of the things. I'll be uploading the things.